The Good Life Game Show is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Health Service with support from the BCS project and USAID.
Acclaimed writer Ola Rotimi wrote in that widely read novel, The Gods Are Not to Blame, that all lizards lie prostrate. How can man tell which lizard has a bellyache? But in time, the pain will make one of them lie flat on its back. Then shall that which is unknown be made known. In that same vein, 5 intelligent and confident young people have come, set ready to play for 1,000 Ghana cedis. They do not know who will take the money away, but in some 25 or so minutes, the money will go to someone. 1,000 Ghana cedis in cash. The questions will come in, the answers will flow, but in the end, we shall find who establishes himself or herself as the Rock of Gibraltar on this very set. If you're watching us for the very first time and you do not know how we play, well, let me show you how we play here on the Good Life Game Show.
To play the Good Life Game Show, the potential contestant must be of age 18 and above, of a sound mind and body. 2. Text your name to short code 1761 and wait for our call. 3. Take your spot on the show and play your way to great rewards in 3 exciting rounds. Each round will be explained by the host of the show. This is the Good Life Game Show, plain and simple.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our 5 strong contenders for today. We have Akosia, Roche, Nicole, Reginald, and Nana Nkiwa. Let it flow, let it flow. We'll begin the show in a moment, but first, if you're watching us from home, instead of the viewer choice question that comes on the screen for you to answer A, B, or C to the short code 1759, we've changed the short code, which is 1761. Now, you can play as if you were Reginald or Roche or Nicole or Nkiwa in the studio here. All you have to do is pick up your phone and text Good Life to the short code 1761. Good Life to the short code 1761. Immediately, it activates your phone to, for instance, like as if you're WhatsApping. Then, once I read the question out to the contestants, it appears on your phone and you're able to answer. Whether you get it right or wrong, we'll tabulate the results at the end of the contest. And if you have got enough marks, you've won something for yourself. It could be in cash, it could be in kind. Similarly, you can also text your name to the short code 1761 to play on the show. Text your name to the short code 1761 to play on the show. Now, to my contestants, let's begin round 1, question 1. Which people in Ghana celebrate the Damba festival?
The Dagombes.
The Dagombes. The Dagombes, it's actually the whole of Upper West region and certain parts of the Northern region. So Dagombes are just a few of the people who celebrate the festival. So I'll give you 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3. Roche, which people in Ghana celebrate the Kundum festival?
People of the
Western region, very correct. Nicole, who led the overthrow of Dr. Nkrumah's CPP government in 1966?
Colonel Kutu Echampong.
Colonel Kutu Echampong is wrong. It's Colonel Ike Kotoka. Kotoka. Reginald, your turn. Who is Ghana's current First Lady?
Mrs. Mahama.
Mrs. Mahama, that's very smart, but I want the first name. 5 seconds. You've been bailed out. I'm sorry. It's Mrs. Lodina Mahama. Lodina Mahama. Nanenchua, who was the third vice president of Ghana's Fourth Republic? The third vice president of Ghana's Fourth Republic.
His Excellency Aliu Mahama.
His Excellency Aliu Mahama is wrong. It's actually President John Dramani Mahama. Agosia, the pancreas secretes A, insulin, B, bile juice, C, peptic juice, D, none of these.
Bow.
Bile juice is wrong. It's insulin. Insulin. Rocher, the tibia is a bone found in A, skull, B, arm, C, leg, D, face.
The leg.
The leg, that's correct. Nicole, which is the largest part of the human brain? A, medulla oblongata, B, cerebellum, C, cerebrum, and D, none of the above.
Medulla oblongata.
Medulla oblongata is wrong. It's the cerebrum. 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 Reginald, what is the main component of bones and teeth? A, calcium carbonate, B, calcium phosphate, C, calcium sulfate, and D, calcium nitrate.
Calcium carbonate.
Calcium carbonate is wrong. It's calcium phosphate. Nanenchua, the main constituent of hemoglobin is A, chlorine, B, iron, C, calcium, D, none of these. Iron is correct. Akosia, the main function of the kidney is A, to control blood pressure, B, to control body temperature, C, to remove waste product from the body, and D, to help in digestion of food.
C.
C, to remove waste from the body. That's correct for 3 points. Rocher, the function of hemoglobin is A, transportation of oxygen, B, destruction of bacteria, C, prevention of anemia, and D, utilization of energy. Transportation of oxygen is correct. Did you say anemia?
Transportation of oxygen. That's why I said.
Nicole, which of the following glands secretes tears? Lacrimal, pituitary, thyroid, pancreas.
A.
Lacrimal, that's correct. Reginald, which is the largest gland in the human body? A, thyroid, B, liver, C, pancreas, D, none of these.
The liver.
The liver is correct. Nanenchua, you have the last one for this round. For 1,000 Ghana cedis, will you answer this correctly? Which is the human body's largest organ? A, liver, B, heart, C, skin, D, kidney.
The heart.
The heart is wrong. It's actually the skin. The skin. And that brings us to the end of round one. For you at home, I'm sure you played along after you finished texting your name to the short code 1761. And also, you sent Goodlife to the short code 1761. The questions came to you. You answered. Only you can tell if you got them correct or wrong. But at the end, the computer will put everything together. And if you won anything, we shall be glad to reward you. At the end of round one, our 5 contestants did their best, but who established himself as the Rock of Gibraltar on this very grand stage? In a matter of a moment, we'll find out who's going home and who's moving on to the next stage, which is our wild card segment. At the end of round one, so there's 333, there's 444, and there's 19. The 9 belongs to Riche. You are the landlord. Okay?
Okay.
Wow. on to round 2, which is our wildcard segment. But first, I'd like also to inform you that we have a doctor in the game show today. A doctor is a resource person. Her name is Dr. Margaret Neza. She's traveled all the way from the Princess Marie Louis Hospital to be a resource person to try and untie the difficult knots that my contestants will try and tie around me. Doc, you're welcome. Good. Now let's move on to round 2. Guys, you're ready? This is a wildcard segment. We call it the multimedia segment. I'll play a video. You watch the video. The questions will come. You will answer the questions. And at the end, we'll see who goes home. In this round, the contestant with the weakest score goes home. This is a playback of the ORS plus Zinc Sport. Please, the video.
Yeah? Don't tell me the child has diarrhea again. Oh.
What can I do? We haven't slept all night.
Yeah. There's a new treatment for diarrhea. It's ORS plus zinc tablets. Now, there's a better and more effective way of treating child diarrhea. ORS plus zinc tablets.
Zinc tablets, when combined with ORS, offer the best treatment for childhood diarrhea.
We know ORS, but I'm just hearing about zinc tablets. So why zinc tablets?
Oh, zinc has been recommended by the Ministry of Health and World Health Organization. When combined with ORS, it stops diarrhea faster and also protects your child for up to 3 months.
That is music to the soul. So how does the combination work?
On the first day when your child gets running tummy, immediately start giving the child ORS just as you did before and give 1 zinc tablet. This will help stop the diarrhea faster. Continue giving ORS until the diarrhea stops and give 1 zinc tablet daily for 10 days. The full 10-day course will provide protection from diarrhea for up to 3 months.
The zinc tablets are easy for the child to take because they taste good and are dispersible in liquid or in a spoon.
Remember to continue feeding the child as you regularly do.
My child loves it already. But doctor, why should we give the zinc tablets for 10 days even though the diarrhea stopped?
Yes, the zinc tablets taken during the first few days stop the diarrhea faster. The full 10 days of tablets will protect the child from diarrhea or running tummy for up to 3 months.
Really? Protect my child from getting diarrhea for 3 months? I better go get some for the household.
Yes, and it's now easily available and very affordable at health facilities, chemical shops and pharmacies.
You saw the video, the ORS plus Zinc Spot. Now here are the questions that follow. Zinc is a micronutrient. True or false?
False.
False. You are so wrong because it is true. Your turn, Rocher. You need 2 bottles of Coca-Cola bottles to dissolve a packet of ORS. True or false?
Certainly true.
It's true. That's correct. NQR, ORS stands for osmolarity rehydration salt. True or false?
False.
False it is. That's correct. It stands for oral rehydration salt or solution. Akosia, zinc when combined with ORS does what to child diarrhea? Zinc. When you add it to ORS, what does it do to child?
It stops child diarrhea for up to 10 days.
Hey, Dr. Akos. Let's go over to Doc and ask. Doc, is she right?
Well, no. It stops the diarrhea faster and then it protects the child against subsequent episodes of diarrhea in the next 3 months, not the 10 days.
So she's wrong.
She's wrong.
So Doc says you're wrong, Akusi. I'm sorry. Rocher, for how many days should zinc be given?
For 10 days.
For 10 days, that's correct. NQR, why was the doctor telling the mother to continue giving zinc for 10 days though the diarrhea has stopped?
To protect the child from diarrhea for 3 months.
Beautiful! A round of applause for Nkiwa. Akosia, why is ORS and zinc recommended by the World Health Organization and the Ministry of Health as the best treatment for childhood diarrhea?
Because it's known to stop child diarrhea faster and it protects the child from getting subsequent diarrhea.
Sharp. Correct. Roche, the women are not giving chance at all. They want the money just like you. That 1,000 could buy a sewing machine, oh. Charlie. So answer this correctly. In what should you dissolve the zinc tablets?
In water.
Yeah, we know that. In the video, from the video.
From the video.
Yes. 5 seconds.
In a spoon.
In a spoon?
Yeah, water in a spoon. Soluble water.
With what?
Am I getting the question?
In what should you dissolve the zinc tablets?
Should be dissolved in water. In a tin spoon. Water.
Doc?
Yes, you should dissolve it in a small amount of clean liquid, either in a small cup or on a spoon.
So, what do you recommend? How many marks do you recommend I give him?
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. Doc says I should give you 2 out of 3. Round of applause for Roche. Nana, name the 3 places mentioned in the video that one can get zinc tablets.
From the hospital, from the pharmacy, and
You've been bailed out. Hospital, yes. Pharmacy, yes. And chemical shops. So it's actually available at every health center, including the hospitals, the pharmacies, and the chemical shops. That brings us to the end of round 2, the wildcard segment. Put your hands together for them. I'm sure they did their best, but there's 1,000 Ghana cedis at stake to be won, and you playing from home on short code 1761. You also, congratulations. I don't know if you answered correctly. The machine will tell. We'll put the results together and we'll be back with them. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Good Life Game Show. This is by far the only show in Ghana that not only educates you, but also entertains you, informs you, and even better, encourages you to live nothing but your good life, powered by your good health. At the end of round 2, Akosia, Roche, and Nana Nkiwa are proving to be tough enough for themselves. They're proving that competition is not easy, and 1,000 Ghana cedis doesn't come easy as well. So at the end of round 2, what are the scores? So the scores dictate that Akosia goes home. Akosia, come for a presidential handshake. The show goes on and we are straight into round 3. Round 3 is our thematic round. In this round, our contestants get to answer questions from a selected Good Life thematic area. Today, our dedication is to water and sanitation. That means that our contestants will be answering questions from water and sanitation from this point on. Our doctor, who is a resource person, Dr. Margaret Nazer, is seated. She's in the house to help me out and clarify and give us professional advice. So, are you ready? Shall we begin? Okay, round 3, question 1. Roche, you should give your child 1 cup of fluids for every bout of diarrhea. True or false?
True.
True, that is correct. Dr. Margaret, will you be kind enough to throw some more light on that?
Yes, the clue is to give as much fluid as often as possible. And you need to give good fluid. That will help replace the fluid that the child is losing. So you can't give ORS, you can't give coconut water, porridge, soups, and any clean fluid that is available.
Thank you very much, Dr. Margaret. Let's move on to you, Nana Nkiwa. You should stop breastfeeding if your child has diarrhea. True or false?
false.
False it is. That's correct. But we'll go to Dr. Margaret now for some expert advice.
Yes, breast milk contains very good nutrients for your child during episodes of diarrhea. It also helps to replace the fluids that the child is losing. So you must not stop breastfeeding when your child has diarrhea. You still need to continue breastfeeding and to give other replacement fluids as well.
Thank you very much. Let's move on. Roche, how do you know if your child has diarrhea?
So is watery.
Just that.
And then they also vomit.
Okay, and what again?
And, they are feverish.
I'll give you 1 out of 3. The answer I was expecting is if they have watery stools more than 3 times a day. Other signs include weakness, low energy, stomach pains, and may not be able to breastfeed, eat, or drink. Those were the options I was looking for. So I'll give you 1 out of 3. Nana, name 2 key factors that cause diarrhea. 2 key factors.
Eating expired foods, feeding at the wrong hours.
Feeding at the wrong hours and eating expired foods. I don't know about that. Please, let me ask Dr. Margaret.
Well, if you eat unclean foods, and then if you feed your child with foods that are not wholesome, like she said, expired foods. Again, if your hands are not clean or whatever you are feeding the child from is not clean, if your bowls are dirty, spoons are not washed, fingers are dirty, they all contribute to giving your child diarrheal diseases.
So 1 out of 3 wouldn't be bad, Doc?
It will not be bad.
Okay, so Nchiwa, you have 1 out of 3 then. Roche, why is diarrhea so dangerous for a child?
It's dangerous for the child because it makes the child lose a lot of fluids and they can die as a result.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Diarrhea dehydrates the child. That's correct indeed. Nchiwa, flies can cause diarrhea. True or false?
True.
True, that's correct. Let's go on to Dr. Margaret to throw some more light on this one. Doc.
Flies are vectors for organisms that cause diarrhea. We find them in unclean places. They settle on fecal matter, on rubbish dumps, and in all sorts of places. And then they end up on your food when it's not covered or when it's cold enough for them to do. So they deposit all these organisms on your food, and then if you take in the food, you are likely to get a diarrheal disease.
Thank you very much, Doc. Your turn, Roche. What are the early signs of dehydration in your child?
Paleness of the eye and of the child, like general pale, the child looks pale generally. And then
you've been bailed out. I'm sorry. I don't think it's correct. It's tiredness and thirst. Tiredness and thirst. Nana, name 2 more serious signs of dehydration that indicate your child needs to visit a clinic immediately. 2 more serious signs.
Frequent urination.
Frequent urination.
And overly sweating.
Overly sweating. Hey, I don't know about that, Dr. Nchiwa. Dr. Margaret, please help me out.
Well, if your child is dehydrated, if your child has signs of severe dehydration, the frequency of urine rather falls. They pass urine less frequency. They may be sweating, that is true. That is if they are going into shock. Again, they will look very weak. Some of them will not be able to sit or stand without support. And then their skin looks cold. And then when you touch them, they are cold, they are sweaty. They cannot even talk. So these are some of the other signs of severe dehydration.
Thank you, Doc. Doc, does she deserve any mark at all?
She does.
How many, Doc?
Give her 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3 for Nana Nchiwa. Roche, how do you know if your child has dysentery instead of diarrhea?
With diarrhea, the child passes to watery stool on and on and on. But with dysentery, it's the watery stool doesn't go on and on.
Dr. Roche. Doc, I'm not sure. Please help us out.
Dysentery means diarrhea with blood in it. And anytime you have blood in stool, it is abnormal and you need to seek care immediately.
So, you're wrong, Roche. I'm sorry. 0 out of 3. Yeah. Nana, what can you give your child if you cannot get any rehydration salts?
A mixture of salt and water solution. Salt and sugar solution.
A mixture of salt and sugar solution. The options I have here are salty food like salted rice, salted yogurt drink, salted soups. And we'll go on to doctor to ask if Nkiwa deserves anything at all and to throw some more light. Doc?
Yes, replacement fluids include yogurt if you can afford probiotic yogurt, not the very sweetened one, but the probiotic yogurt is important. Can also give coconut water. You can use strained rice water. You can use porridges, soups, and like she said, you can use salt sugar solution in areas where you do not have prepared ORS, the one that comes to us in the sachets. You can use salt and sugar in a solution, but it must be prepared right.
Roche, the last one for you in this round. What is the easiest way to prevent diarrhea?
Is to wash your hands with soap and clean water.
At what times?
After stew or before eating.
After stew, before eating.
2 different times.
I will give you 2 out of 3. The reason is the children are very, very vulnerable. And oftentimes we leave them out. Like you say, wash your hands. So if you have a child, so the child is very, very important. The reason I'll give you 2 over 3. And also, you must frequently wash your hands with soap and water, and that of your child as well, especially at these critical times. Before you prepare food, before eating or feeding the child, after going to the toilet, after cleaning your child's buttocks. It's very, very important. Oftentimes in Africa, we eat with our dirty hands, and then when we finish, we wash our hands with soap. We wash the oil off. And you are the last one for this round. 1,000 Ghana cedis. Abidja, you want it? Answer correctly. Babies' feces do not contain bacteria and viruses. True or false?
False.
False. That's correct. And even a newborn baby's feces contains bacteria and viruses that can cause diarrhea and should be disposed of in a latrine or toilet. We've rounded up round 3. That's how the curtains drop on today's episode of the Good Life Game Show. We'll be back with the scores, the presentation of the grand prize 1,000 Ghana cedis, and the presidential handshake or hug, depending on which contestant goes home with nothing. We'll be right back. Now on to our contestants, Roche and Nana Nkiwa, who have battled their heads off 1,000 Ghana cedis. At the end of round 3, it was slow but sure. She was very slow but sure. Roche, come for presidential handshake. You should make one of those shirts for me soon. Congratulations.
This program was brought to you by the Ghana Health Service, BCS Project and USAID.